Hello? Um, I think my OBS like crashed. Am I back? Am I live? Hello? Is anybody here? I have no idea what happened to my computer. Hello, son. So everything just flashed dark, like my all my monitors basically turned off and then flashed, and then it took like a second to load up, and when it loaded it was like OBS has crashed. And so now I'm like, oh, so I like restarted everything, but I don't know, like, are we are we like good now? I guess, son, you can see me live, so you're responding. Hopefully everyone also can see me. Sorry, I'm just, I can see you live. Okay. We're live. Okay, good. Okay, that was really confusing. I have no idea, like, what just happened. Okay, I'm gonna get the game back up. Hopefully it saved. If it didn't, well, we'll just have to click through until it's back. Hopefully it's fine. Let's cross our fingers here. That was really surprising. Anyways, let's just get this going. Sorry about that, you guys. Didn't miss much, I don't think. Literally, the man was mad at us for asking him about the weather, and then Susato-san like talked and also said something about the weather, and he was like a total 180 on his personality and was like, yes, London's winters are quite cold. I don't think it saved it. Did it? Okay, so we did get through all of this, so I'm just gonna, well, that was fun. We're just gonna click through, because I did go through all of this. I honestly don't, why did it crash? I'm gonna have to see, because I did save a crash log file or something, so I wonder if I'll be able to understand why it crashed later. I don't know how to read technology. Okay. There's just so much dialogue. Okay, so I guess if I just hold on to this, and then while this kind of plays through, we'll just, I don't know. Let's catch up, you guys. What'd you guys do over the weekend? Did you guys, I mean, I kind of told you guys there was a little bit of show and tell, right? About my weekend, but what about your guys' weekends? What'd you guys end up doing? Did you go out? Did you see some friends? Did you, I don't know, do something fun? You can change text speed in the settings. Oh, nice. Wow, you can turn story mode on and it just plays for you. The answers to questions, presentation of evidence, etc. are all handled on your behalf. Interesting. Is it gameplay? Subtitles, text skip. Is it this? Turn it on for now. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we just have to go through all of this. I'll turn it off once we get back to the detective guy, but thank you for letting me know about this show. We'll definitely be cycling through this until we get to the right place. Just had hot pot with my family yesterday for family day. Ooh, what's your favorite hot pot thing? For me, my favorite is the pork belly. And I also like the fish balls. The fish balls are quite delicious. Ooh, and baby corn. I think out of those three, I would pick baby corn is my favorite thing. No. I would pick pork belly and then baby corn. But yeah, what would you say is your favorite thing? Baby corn is just so good though. Did you guys guys, I have to tell you, I think like one time when Ever and I were like getting groceries for the hot pot, Ever was just like, that's not actually like baby corn, is it? It's like just called baby corn. And then I looked at her and I was like, you just said something completely crazy. Like, what do you mean it's not baby corn? Like, it's baby corn. I like beef and pork, all the meat. I actually don't like beef too much in hot pot because I feel like it's too lean for hot pot. I do like the pork belly. It's not super lean. Okay, so skip through this and then Susato is gonna talk. Okay. Okay, so from here, let's turn this back off because text skip is dangerous. Maybe she was thinking like how baby carrots are not actually baby carrots. I mean, maybe. I think she thought it was like something completely different altogether. It's just really funny. I just looked at her and I was like, what are you talking about? Of course it's baby corn. Why else would it be called baby corn? Okay, this is where it crashed, I think. So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Inspector Gregson. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? Between beef and pork show, what do you prefer in hot pot? Because like, for me, my friends, it's always pork that we buy. But I guess sometimes beef is nice if it's like a nice marbled fatty piece. Ooh, like beef belly? That would be good. You're acting like you know this man, Miss Susato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. Oh, in that publication? What's it called again? Rance Magazine? That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful, friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible! Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words. That's his highest praise? Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. I think I usually want pork, but I'm a family of 7, so we always have both and then some. Gregson is a simple man. Oh my goodness, Jin! Hello, welcome in. Thank you very much for the gift sub. to Apple. Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thank you, Jin. I appreciate it. Welcome in. How are you? How have you been this weekend? Welcome, welcome. That he is not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? Huh, I have to admit, to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. I have been pretty good. Relaxing. Ooh, relaxing is always a good thing to do. Jin is Oprah of gift subs. She truly is. You get a gift sub. You get a gift sub. Everybody gets a gift sub. Jin, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for always gifting subs to the community members around here. Well, that's wonderful. No, it is not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. In 7 more, Princess will play FNAF, right? Absolutely not. I did not make any promises like that. You cannot say that. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Are you quite sure? He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that. Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs. I've never heard that saying before. As sure as eggs is eggs. I get this feeling that the detective could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people. The case. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler. Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. Hey, it's Gregson! It is Gregson! A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in hospital, unconscious. That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a Susato takedown, would you? That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo. Brace yourself, Ryunosuke. You've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit? Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question? I wish I could carry around a bottomless cone of fish and chips. I wish I could too, but honestly, his cone looks like it's filled with just chips and no fish. Which would, oh, nope, I lied. Nope, yep, there is a fish in there. Damn, I want a bottomless cone of fish and chips too now. I do have to say, okay, when I went to the UK in December, the food, the first week when we were in like a hotel that wasn't really like a great-ish hotel, we had to fend for ourselves, and it was next to like almost like a kind of diner restaurant. It was not that great. It was like okay, but not really good. The fish and chips is the best thing on their menu. And then the week after, we stayed at this really nice hotel that had like dinner options, that had like we could choose an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. That place, that was bomb. And then I learned about the beautiful dessert known as a lemon posset. And so my two favorite things from the UK were their bomb-ass fish and chips, which was really good. I had that at least 3 times in the 2 weeks I was there. And lemon posset, which I had twice in 1 week. It was so good, you guys. And like the thing is, when I like learned what it was, I looked up like a recipe and I was like, how do I make a lemon posset? Because I really want to make this at home. I can't. Like, apparently it's made of something called double cream, which does not exist in the US. Like, we have heavy cream, but US heavy cream is not the same as the UK double cream. Oh, thank you, show. I will look at that clip later. Is it me saying there's no fish in there? And then I'm like, yep, nope, there's the fish. Cause the UK double cream, I think, has more milk fat, like percentage-wise, than US heavy cream. So I can't make it. It's just not, it's not possible. Which makes me really sad, because lemon possets are like the best thing I've ever had. That is exactly what it is. I see. Thank you, show. Food. Yes, food is really good. Oh yes, my work trip to Germany has now been confirmed. So I don't think I will be streaming when I'm there, just to make things less complicated for myself. But I will be gone that last week of March. And then, like, the first week of April, I should be back. So hopefully there's good food in Germany. But I will miss streaming for you guys while I'm abroad again. So I'll probably try to figure out something. Maybe from my phone. We'll see. Figure it out. Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barack Van Zeeks. My guy, my man, Van Zeeks. No! Sounds like you've heard of him then. Yeah, but I won, so I'm not too scared of him. Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. I had the exact same moment as your fish comment when I was watching Heartstopper with my siblings. The one black character was alone and then approached people and I said, oh, she has friends now. But it was actually a different black character, so I said, oh, that's not her. I'm just racist. That's happened to me. I feel like, I think you guys know this, but I'm very face blind when it comes to actors, because apparently Tom Hanks and Bill Murray looked the same to me as a kid. I mean, you did sort of cheat. I didn't cheat. Someone else cheated and made it easy for me to win. The Reaper of the Bailey. I can't control other people's actions inside Outski. Huh? Lord Barack Van Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGriddle told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When Van Zeek stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty. And what of it? Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. Oh, but is it because they die anyways? Because he died, didn't he? No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? He just sticks it in his pocket! Fries and all! What happened to the bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Magnus McGriddle came a crapper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What are you saying? Look, if Van Zieks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles, he works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe that? Interesting. Right, well, I filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So, I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place. That's correct, ma'am, and if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. He doesn't eat the chips, and if he is gonna waste them like that, then give them to me, my good man. Fish and chips are so good. Something about a hot fried potato and like battered and fried fish. Flaky on the inside, crispy on the outside, salty and hot. Oh my god, so delicious. I want fish and chips now. You've branded him a criminal already? He's as good as shaken like a leaf in his cell, he is. It'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So... if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. We should have gotten the money from McGriddle when we had the chance. He was offering us so much money, we would have been set for life. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes, let's go. Alright, we're gonna move to the... oh. Briar Road or prison? Let's go to the prison first. Let's go to the prison. Jail cell 53. Cell 9, never mind. Inmate 53. So these are the British prison cells. Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these stone-cold walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark in the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop biding at the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I a cat as yet with no name? Calling me by a number, it's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on here? I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Oh, interesting. A Japanese man. Excuse me, but who... Shh, quiet! Okay. They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it! Right. So... There you are, you've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it, you're a ghost! A ghost? We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you... Japanese by any chance? Oh, his eyes changed. This is... Cowabunga, princess! Cowabunga time! How are you? Welcome in. Good evening. This is... beyond my wildest dreams! Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Time is awesome. That's great. How was your weekend, Time? What'd you end up doing this weekend? I had a great time in the desert. I went with Ever, her partner, and our other friend, and we had a great time. We had such a great time. I literally, on the last day, was like, guys, we should totally do this again. We should totally do this. I want to see the stars with everyone. I had a great time, and everyone started looking at Airbnbs for later this year. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment. Time played Elden Ring all weekend. Oh, how was that? Did you have fun? Did you make any progress? Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? Ah, what compassion my fellow countrymen show! To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon! Goodness. I don't know what to tell you. I am not a first-class lawyer. Elden Ring is fun. Time made loads of progress. That's awesome. I'm glad. I do know that Elden Ring is a very difficult game, so I'm glad that you were able to make some progress. Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example. Yes, I can, I will! Hello, Sev. Welcome in. And also, hello, Sev's partner, if you are there. Hello, hello, welcome. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I did. I went to go see the stars. It was magnificently, magically, most amazing. She is, and she is waving. Oh, hello. It's been a while. Last time I saw you guys was Thursday, which was like almost 5 days ago. It's been so long. Shan't stay sullen and silent. This man is very interesting. I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. We missed you. Oh, thanks, you guys. You guys are the sweetest. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume. I was gonna guess Natsume Soseki, but he already provided his name. Soseki Natsume. Interesting. The author? It's Natsume Soseki. Yes, the author. I see both of you guys. Soseki Natsume-san. What an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume. A nom de plume, you mean an alias? Those are some interesting eyes. Great hello, aren't they? They're very strange looking. That's right, Naruhodo-san. No! Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku? That really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say you were a visiting student sent here by the government? Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this! It's beyond the pale. Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here? No, I mean, had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh. But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it? No? What do you mean? If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I see. Only the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on whitewashy. This man is so funny. You must be a man of great standing. Oh yes, so I'm often told, and often like to be told, it seems. Accusation against you. Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san? I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder. Murder? Oh, no. It's all right. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes. Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. What? If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here? Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse. The curse of London. It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case. About the case. It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear, and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too? As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, just as I went to overtake her. She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. How terrible. I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps? I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that. Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? And a young woman at that? I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great. So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? What conundrum? Ryunosuke, you cannot be this dumb. How could someone report him as the killer if there was no one else on the street? Conundrum? What do you mean, Susato-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen. I did! But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. Ah, you! What did you just say? Nothing, I didn't say anything. Oops, perhaps I thought that a little loudly. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested? See, I knew it. I fucking knew it, you guys. I'm so smart. Time says night-night. Don't let those bed bugs bite. Time! Good night! Thank you for stopping by, as always. I super appreciate it. Let me give you a little tuck-tuck into bed. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Good night time. Thank you. I always appreciate when you stop by. Bye! Sorry? He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh yes, she's right. It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck. Accursed great detective? Could it be? I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. with his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash! Big-headed busybody, be gone! May you be cursed until the end of your days, Hairlock Sholmes! I knew it. Mr. Sholmes! Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after that nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me, "This is the police! Put the weapon down!" Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon! Disgusting dietary discrimination, devils! You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Hairlock Sholmes! It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman! Me? This weak, stooped kitten of a man! I wonder what great deduction process led him to this conclusion this time. Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. Of course you were. That's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish foreign film flammery. Sorry, flim-flammery. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point, but my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, "Yes, I do," and "I'm fine. Thank you, and you?" The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. I'm fine? He's not fine now. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple Mr. is more than enough. Oh, yes, alright, yes, they've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student, like yourself, on a study tour. A student? I have defended a case in the Old Bailey, only the one though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, Naruhodo-san. I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm sort of a locum lawyer, I suppose. But But that armband, that's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. A keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh, who do you mean? The lawyers. All the British defense lawyers. They won't defend me. Goodness. Why do you say that? For the same reason as you noted before, when it happened. There was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot without any compunction at all. I can only imagine what this man would be like hopped up on caffeine. He would be quite a sight, I believe. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said, and of course the foreigner did it. He even had the gall to say, the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway. That's awful. They're wrong! I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets! I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. Soseki-san, it's just that... Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can for the time being. What do you mean? We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh, yes! Yes, thank you! I'll be here all alone, waiting for you, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for. Okay, so no more topics. Also, don't know why. My brain has decided to make the room spin. I think I need to go get some water and perhaps some ibuprofen? Some ibuprofen? I'm gonna make some tea. I'm gonna be back in like 5 minutes. I'm gonna drink some ibuprofen, drink some tea, and some water. So while I'm gone, please enjoy my awesome be right back screen and some ads, okay? If I could find it, here it is. The room is spinning. Yes, it is spinning a little bit. All right, I'm gonna be right back, you guys. Just gonna get some water and, you know, a bio break and all that. BRB! Okay, hello, we are back. Hopefully I'll feel better. I don't know what's going on, but you know, we'll just we'll just leave it at that. All right. So I think the next step is to go to Briar Road. I'm just hoping that the Advil kicks in soon. Thank you for the welcome back. I appreciate that, Goon. I made some tea. I got some water. I drank some ibuprofen. That's all we need, right? So this is where it happened. Briar Road. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That is their job, you know? But, Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. Are you unwell? I think I might be unwell. It might be the bad shrimp that I ate. But also, it just might be that it might also be that I just haven't slept enough. Do you need ever noodle soup? You know, chicken noodle soup does sound quite delicious, but no, I don't need an ever noodle soup. And sand cold, baby. What do you mean by that, son? They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt I'd ever come this close to a real Bobby's helmet. What? The helmet? Of course. I have to try one on one day. Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true. Ah, the inspector! What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Oh, Inspector Gregson. This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware. Yes, of course, we're here to investigate. Isn't that right, Hermes? We're here to investigate. Look at you, just getting all the chin scratches. So you've been to the Holden cells then? What'd you make of the criminal? He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. Huh, we'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Wow, that is so racist. Just because you're Japanese and I'm Japanese doesn't mean we're friends. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens. And the verdict's a foregone conclusion. Ugh, the stone-cold air of rejection. Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone-cold air. That makes it worse somehow. I'm gonna stick with the Japanese. If you're gonna be racist and rude, Grayson. Yeah, stop trying to make fetch happen. Not gonna happen. Scotland Yard. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place. The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am. Oh, and you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet. It does make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city. Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful? Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you. Oh, really? First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round and rouses all the laborers on his beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yep, raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit. Oh my goodness, what the heck, Gunny? Hello, thank you very much. What is this occasion? Thank you, Gunny, for the 5 gift subs to the Jared, Phantom, Twin Uchiha, Squirrely Fits, and Afitas. Thank you. Why is my thing just going? He eating fish and chips? He is. Susato and Ryunosuke are such a great pair. She's so blindly optimistic and he's so blunt. That's very true. I think you're pretty is the occasion. Oh, Gunny, thank you. That's very sweet of you. I hope you've had a good weekend. How was your weekend? Mine was, you know, cold because I was in the desert. Perpetual fish and chips, I see. Yes, perpetual fish and chips. It's, I really want this to be a thing because that's really cool. I'm in the middle of my weekend. Oh, that's right, because you don't work until, what, like Friday, right? Thank you for the gift sub. Oh, Jared, thank you for coming in to say thank you to Gunny. I really appreciate that. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. I'm off and staying home. Good for you, Gunny. We love staying home. We love not doing anything. Isn't that right, Hermes? That's basically what you do. That's your job as a dog. You just stay home and don't do anything. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. Can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. Let me see. 20 miles, that's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. And when it gets dark, of course he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps. Oh my! And I suppose in between all those duties, bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well. And chase after criminals trying to evade the law. I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly, more alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit. That just means you need to hire more people, sir. I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. About the case. It happened at around 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in the hospital. I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes round pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want. Really? Are you sure? It's yard policy to give lawyers defending suspects the odd bit of information to go on. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept. Local map has been entered into the court record. Let's just take a look. Okay, so Mearsham Street, Calabash Road. What is this road here? Why is there nothing marked here? That's concerning. Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head-scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present. I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure. How? Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. What? We have two very reliable witnesses, no less. It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them. There were witnesses now? Who are these witnesses, Inspector? A fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. He's a copper from Scotland Yard. A policeman? That might change things. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked? Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby. Catching them banging the act and all that. Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions? Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow. Oh. I have no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to. That's that, then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector. What? The person who led you to the suspect, I hear that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Nando, hello, and hello, Tiny. Hello, I have arrived to be tucked. No worries, let me tuck you into bed, Tiny. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. Thank you for coming by, Tiny, I appreciate you. Good night, thank you for the lurk. And hello, Nando. Hello, how are you? What are you up to? How was your weekend? What are you bringing him up for? Was it something I said? The color has drained from his cheeks. Let's do Mr. Sholmes first. Big tired? Oh, me too. I'm not sure if you're a mutual on Twitter, but man, the desert and all the driving, I didn't drive, my friend drove, but just being in a car for long periods of times, so tiring. And I got home so late, but been lurking about. Tiny's chat confused me though. Oh, Tiny came just so that he could get tucked into bed, because I have a tuck command that, says good night, sweet dreams. Just tuck you in gently. Verbiage is rough. Who did you hear that name from? Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. Anyways, good night, Tiny. Good night. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions. Fiddle faddle! The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Oh. Was concerned, Tiny believes in Sarah parasocial. Good night, though, Tiny. Oh, thank you for shouting Tiny out, Gunny. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime. Wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case! Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he? Gibble gabble! Ah! Ever seen this before? Oh, yes, that's Rant's magazine. The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Holmes appears. Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Holmes tale at all. Well, I suppose there is an element of that. We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us as Scotland Yard as he is to all of our criminals. That was such a soft ha. That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. I see. Interesting. Alright, tell me about tomorrow's trial. That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not? Well, makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London liar worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole. Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean? There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It is all a bit strange, though. Sorry? The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now. Oh, that's right. He hasn't. Yes, we did hear something to that effect. And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones. Master criminals? The violent ones? That's right. He handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely. That's just my point, Sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. She should really consider a coat. It looks cold. You mean, Susato-san? Kimonos are quite warm depending on how many layers you decide to wear underneath. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest. Really? What sort of reason, Inspector? You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. Are we really going to have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he put it? Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Oh, yes, what is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, exactly. Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Wow, she is big Sholmes simp. I see. I understand, girl. It's okay. I understand. Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he? Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address, even... It's Baker Street! Okay, you just... How do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We'd better try to find our way there before Susato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable. I like how she has seen firsthand how his intelligence doesn't meet his image, but she's still fangirling. I mean, if you support someone for so long, you know, I feel like you can't get rid of your image of them in your brain, even if you meet them in real life. But this is also, I mean, Community was right about this. You should never meet your heroes. Never. A picture will never disappoint you. Alright, I'll summon a carriage. So, we're to have a reunion already with the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Okay, so we've conversed. Can we examine anything? Oh, what's this? What a delightful snowman. I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though. Oh, it has a scarf, look! You'd need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. LeVar can't possibly disappoint! I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. He's perfect and magical. Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his. But the person who made this snowman certainly would. Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. A policeman? That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Oh, no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs, despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all. Oh, a carriage. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it, wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone! Susato-san! No, I wasn't serious. That is absolutely hilarious. Anyways, the commitment to the bit. Oh, what's this? Oh, a British bicycle, look! Too late now, Ryunosuke. Welcome back, Steve Gray. Hello. I hope you had a good weekend. Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. If If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you'd agree with me. We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around. Wow, okay, I guess. Why is this flashing? What is this? There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks. What on earth has he experienced for him to think like that? Also true, right, Show? It seems carriages often travel down Briar Road. It soon disperses all the snow. I slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. It seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead. Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo, and dressed all in black. I worry coachman might not see you, and you could be flattened by horses. Well, thank you for the rather small concern. Okay, so, what's this? That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. While time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place, it's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here. We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yes, you're right, cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. Interesting. Okay, so we've seen the building. Is there anything else? There's a broken bicycle. Are we gonna come back to that bicycle? The point that there was a broken bicycle in front? Okay, we've seen that, we've seen that. I think we've seen everything. Cool. How do I see the menu again? Nope, that's not it. How do I travel? Options? That's not it. Let's just save. Okay, wait, how do I pull up the menu to move? Just be back? Oh, okay, be back. Go back. I see. Thank you. That was very dumb of me. Okay, move to Sholmes Suite. 221B Baker Street, the home and office of the most famous detective in the world. Ooh, look at this little animation. Isn't it supposed to be snowing?
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day. Thanks again. This is it.
Shh, don't point out the flaws. Look at how shiny Susato-san's eyes are. Just sparkling. Plants should not be growing in literal winter like that. False. A cutscene that isn't the Intio? Sholmes' Suite. Wow, there's a lot of crazy things going on here, sir. So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. She's full of hope or whatever. Is it as described in the stories, Miss Susato? Susato-san? Many, many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I've never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be. The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism! Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I suppose I can, yes. So, if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Please, don't mind me. She's obsessed. I think Marie Kondo would not approve. Clearly, it is sparking joy. I feel like Marie Kondo would approve if this is something that Sherlock is comfortable living in. But if he doesn't like this mess, then that's when he needs to start to tidy. Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. What, did we just walk in? Like, he just left his door unlocked? Really? Excuse me, is anybody home? Oh, do we have a visitor? Oh, it's the little girl! Oh wait, I forgot what my voice for her was. Hold on. I have to like cough real quick. That's not on us. He left the door unlocked. Oh, I see, okay. Okay, I have to sound like a little child. Hello, is it a big new case for Mr. Scholes? Hello. Wait. Aren't you... Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. Princess going child mode. I don't know if that sounded like a child or not. I'm sure it's the same girl. Miss Susato, did you see the girl who was just here? Oh yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case. The King of Bavaria? King Wilhelm Gottrade Sigmund von Armstrong, of course! Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment and look over there. Hey, I've read that story! The tea's brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well. Ah, it's you! I knew it. Susato-san recognizes her too. Wait, how am I gonna differentiate Susato-san's voice and this little girl's voice? Ah, there you are. And taking that with you as well. Well, the girl's nice. She is very cute. I love, love, love the pink. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental grenade launcher. The inventor of that smoke gun? Gee, I wonder why. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGriddle's trial in the defendant's antechamber. I never met a lawyer from the Far East before. How are you, having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London? Oh, yes, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Hooray, it's a winner! I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're to defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck. How did you get them to put your model in the game? I know, right? She's so cute. Look how cute she is. Look at that pink hair that makes a little bow and ribbon. Oh my goodness, so adorable. Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? Oh, you know Hurley, do you? Hurley, Mr. Sholmes to you, surely. Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see. Well, I just realized the shade of pink is almost an exact match. Yeah, look! Look at her hair. I mean, hers is slightly a little bit redder, and I think mine is slightly more purpley, but it is pretty close.
Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas.
Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday, after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all those things, do you think? And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Chom's suite?
Oh, silly me, I haven't introduced myself, have I?
Oh, she bows like a princess. She curtsies!
It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. I lived here together with Hurley.
Ah, Iris, is it? What a lovely name. What's the matter? No, wait, this can't be. Hey, y'all, how's stream going? Hello, Wonder Waffle. Stream is going good. I am making my way downtown. Faces pass, walking fast. Nope, walking fast. Faces pass, and I'm homebound. No, we're doing good. We are making great progress on this game. This character is really cute that we just, learned about. How are you doing? How was your weekend, by the way? Did you have a good one? Pretty sure she has a murder notebook given her character design. Well, she did invent a smoke gun. That is true. She did invent a smoke gun. So make with that information what you will,
Did you say that your name is Wilson?
What's the matter, Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden?
Yes, that's right. And what are your names?
Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan.
Oh, sorry.
I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you. Gani, thank you for the head pats. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Lovely. Susie and Runo.
Got it. That's just rude. Oh, okay. Thanks for the box.
Susie.
And Runo? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her. I don't know where to start.
Yes, and so do I.
Okay. Iris. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey.
Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. Though at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. Oh, wait, nope, that's Ryunosuke. Though at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us.
Like this?
Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you? Oh yes, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade.
Oh, Ginny. Yes, she's a professional pickpocket.
So we found out.
It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that.
Are you referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption?
Exactly. So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions.
This girl is dangerous.
Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician.
Sorry, your technician?
Early, of course, silly.
Hurley? Can I say? What? What are you gonna say, Gunny? What are you about to say?
Yes, Herlock Sholmes, we live here together.
I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter. I don't like something that sounds like Ginny. Looks so close to my name. Oh, I see. Gina Lestrade? Lestrade?
Daughter, not likely.
What?
I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I?
Well, then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes?
Well, I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate.
Your roommate?
Ha! Sholmes!
I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you?
10 at last this year.
Well, what of your mother and father? No, they're not around. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. Wilson.
Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Of course, go ahead, Susie.
I am a very great fan of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes and...
Oh, you have a copy of Rant's magazine!
Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship.
No, this is so exciting! My stories are being read on the other side of the world!
Oh, she definitely murdered them? She did not. She's way too chipper. I love her. She's so cute. My stories?
That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think?
Iris is behind it all! It was her. She was the writer. Goodness.
Last night, he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came.
So you are the author.
Yes, I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure The Speckled Band.
No, I mean, she masterminded every murder, obviously. The Speckled Band? That's certainly very familiar.
Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble.
Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually. Even Asogi, our good friend Asogi. I miss him. I miss our best friend Asogi. I'd believe it.
Yes, and of course, I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but it's a story. Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think. Don't you?
So, do you mean to say, are the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rant's magazine? Asko! Thank you for resubscribing for a whole year. Also, I'm very scared. How many points are you at? Can you just give me a little peeky peek? Like, how many points have you saved so far? I'm very nervous. If you guys don't know, my friend Negacion, or Esco, wants to redeem a scary game. So he's been sitting in chat, biding his time, waiting to collect enough channel points to redeem the game.
All written by me. Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson. I have 100,000 now, princess. Oh, Goon, I'm scared. What are you gonna be redeeming? Can you redeem something nice for me? I would love you forever. Thank you very much. Susato-san's getting more and more worked up. I just have a big decision to make. Show how? What the fuck? Didn't you all like just redeem one in January? It's only February. I don't understand. Do I stream? Honestly, do I just stream that much that you guys are able to collect all these points? This is scary. I'm very nervous. Yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part? Wow, I've done too many headpats. Sev is like, too many headpats, not enough points. Because I don't want to make it something you hate, but I want it to be something you may have never played. Oh, gotcha. Do your research, Goon. I will definitely love to play whatever you decide to redeem. I think it was December when I redeemed Spirit Fair, but yeah, I was also surprised how fast it went. Subscribers get double points compared to what the base you set. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm only 2/3 of the way there. I feel like 2/3 is quite a bit. Oh, guys, I'm so scared. I know, like, as I stream closer to my 1 year mark, there are more and more people who have just been sitting on their channel points. And I'm so scared that all of you are gonna redeem like 10 games at once. Just very nervous. Can't wait for the Resident Evil 7 stream. No, I'm gonna be very scared. Ever has to screen the game, and I might die anyways, even if she screens it for me. You're gonna be buying so many games. I know. At least I can, like, tell my accountant, like, can you just... This is an expense. I promise. This was an expense. I've noticed all the games you play are redeems except for Jump King and Everett collabs. Basically. That's basically what it is at this point. If it's an interesting game, then I will keep playing the game redeem. Otherwise, I have to find something else to fill the time. Or just more Jump King, you know, because I don't mind more Jump King. That's the dream, buying games and writing them off as a business expense. I want to do a nice pretty one, but my partner's full of hate and wants all horror and gore. You know how she is. I think that... Tell your partner that they're very inconsiderate and I would like a game that is full of fluffy puppies and rainbows and bunny rabbits. Exactly. That's all true too. I am a doctor of medicine. No, at 10 years old? At 10 years old? Well, that's quite incredible. But... Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman! Yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling. Oh. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow. You weren't supposed to believe me. I know you meant that it was actually you, Sev, and not your partner. I suppose it does, yes. Poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world has just fallen apart. I love this little, like, theme song for her. About before. Yes, what's on your mind, Runo? Do tell me.
How did you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London, I mean? Again, never meet your heroes. Hey, now I'm the one who introduced her to cute overload. Are you, Sev? Are you? It's true. Never meet your heroes. You can't disappoint a picture. Okay? Or is it the other way around? A picture can never disappoint you. And Susato-san just learned the hard way.
Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted, although there is really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular.
Oh, interesting. She also has a logic and reasoning.
First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber.
But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that?
I observed a passport and a travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket.
Oh.
So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs.
The Reaper of the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I?
Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with a suspect, weren't you? Earlier today.
You know, this is something that actually bothers me. I don't know, like, it doesn't bother me too much, but maybe this is like on the level of old man yells at clouds, but I hate it. Like, I hated it when I listened to this podcaster that did this. But it, like, she would report on true crime that was not an American or English crime, right? It would have, like, it would involve, you know, maybe people from China or people from Korea. And she she would say their full name, like, once in Korean or in Chinese. And then she would be like, but we're just gonna call her Susie. And we're gonna call him Brandon. And I'm like, but that's not their names. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a really small thing. Like, maybe it's something that you kind of get used to. Because I've heard it a lot, right? Where, like, you know, I tell someone my Vietnamese name and they're like, no. Or other people have, you know, basically said, yeah, you know, this is my name, but people can't pronounce it correctly because it's, like, ethnic. And I'm just like, it can't be that hard to pronounce someone's name. Like, especially, like, it's their fucking name, you know? Like, how hard could it be to learn how to, like, because I think I read a post once. It's like, how fucking hard did you think it was to pronounce Tchaikovsky's name when you first saw it? Like, you don't know how to say that word. You know, you have to, like, learn how to say that. Why can't you do the same for people who aren't, like, European? That's fair. I feel like unless the person themselves have expressed they are okay with a nickname, you should say their name. Right? Like, yeah, if they are okay and they're like, no, you know, this is my name, but people call me this, then that means that they're okay. Usually if they provide a nickname, like, they're okay with being called that name. But, like, it's just kind of, like, upsetting to me when, like, people change ethnic names to make it more, like, I guess, palatable. And I'm like, especially if you're doing true crime. I think she stopped doing it. Maybe she got some criticism about it. But yeah, like, just replacing, like, a victim's name or, you know, people involved in the crime and replacing their name with an English name, it just doesn't vibe well. Like, especially, this is like people's lives, you know? This is what happened to like a real person. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, that just bothers me. I just wanted to say that.
They used those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So, that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGriddle, the two of you had already had a cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison.
Do prisons actually do that? Give you a stamp when you visit, like going to a theme park? I don't think so. I think there's a fucking logbook that you sign in and out of for prison. I don't think they're like, all right, stamp, come again. Bye, hope you had fun.
However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case.
I see. But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? They do not. You've logged in the database. I see. Yeah, like a database or a logbook, right? If they're still doing old school, but not stamps. It's kind of funny. Maybe back in the 1900s they did.
Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he'd got a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling.
A Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been Mr. Natsume.
Now Runo has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case.
Okay, I gotta admit, she is a lot smarter than her Lockshaw. And like, none of that reasoning was like weird or funny at all. She's just straight on the point.
There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. He is silly. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions.
The brain to his himbo.
Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct?
They were spot on. That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. So because she writes the stories, it must be that she writes Herlock to be a lot smarter than he actually is, which is hilarious because that means Susato-san actually admires a 10-year-old detective rather than Herlock himself. You even managed the certain something of Mr. Sholm's delivery.
Oh, well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. This is really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please.
The case of the Japanese man. So yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying.
Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage, but the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene.
The great detective is a popular man, it seems.
Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking stooped man.
Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. Soseki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. But it seems there were witnesses after all.
Hurley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking stooped man shivering in fear.
Mr. Sholm's great deduction certainly hit the mark that time.
Of course it did. He's a great detective.
Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it?
Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime.
Oh.
Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently. Oh dear, I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person.
That's terrible.
I suppose it's the harsh realities of the workings of the world's greatest justice system.
I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-san. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative.
Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun.
Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guess, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well.
Well, I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene.
Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, Mr. Natsume? Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were there?
Yes, we know Inspector Gregson.
Ah, goody. In that case, give Gregsy this from me, won't you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know.
What is this?
A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems.
Iris's postcard has been entered into the court record. A card for Inspector Gregson with a message on the back from Iris.
It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem." Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it?
Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Oh. Secret? Somehow we just got the goods.
Good luck then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon. I'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruhoto, it's back to the scene of the crime.
Interesting, interesting. So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all, we headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand.
Good night, Princess. It's late for me. I got distracted by dinosaurs.
No worries, Goon. Let me give you a tuck into bed here.
Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
As always, thank you for coming in, hanging out with us. I very, very much appreciate you.
Thank you, Goon. Bye.
Oh, we are at a stopping point, and it's actually 10 o'clock. So actually, this is a good time, I think, to pause. Yes. All right, you guys, I think it's time. We're gonna save the next part for next week, which should be fine because I don't think I'm doing anything crazy next week. Yep, should be fine. Let me move over to this and turn my music back on. All right, guys, as always, thank you. It's been a while. Like every time I take like a slight break in streaming, or like I'm not consistently streaming, I always forget, like the very first 10 minutes, I always forget how to boot everything up. And apparently something went wrong and my OBS crashed today, right? So there was that too. So I always appreciate when you guys are able to come by, even if I've been gone for a bit and I'm not, you know, live at my usual times. So I appreciate you. I want to say thank you to Phantom for the raid. Super duper appreciate you, Phantom. Thank you for trusting your community with me and us here. Jin, thank you for gifting a sub to Apple. Gunny, thank you for gifting the 5 gift subs. I believe they went to, I can only remember 3 of the name. Nope, 4. I think it was Jared, Phantom, Squirrely Fits, and Afitas. And then it was also Twin Uchiha, I think. That was all 5. And thank you, Esco, for resubscribing. As always, I super duper appreciate the support. Whether or not you come here to chat, right? Like Action Sev, Wonder Waffle, Goon, Show, Abby, or, you know, you come to lurk, like Esco, who's lurking, biding his time for those channel points. Guys, I super duper appreciate all of it. Don't know what I would be, where I would be without you guys. So thank you guys so much, whether you are a lurker, chatter, viewer. Thank you, son. Tomorrow, we are going to be doing Chrono's Game Redeem, which is unpacking. So hopefully it is going to be a relaxing stream where we just open boxes and put the items where they belong. Hopefully. Soon the time will be upon us to use the points en masse. I'm so scared for that day, Abby, but I know it's coming. So truly, I did this to myself. All right, you guys, if you'd like to join us on this raid, and you are a subscriber, which many of you guys are subscribers, go ahead and copy this raid message. Okay? And if you are not a subscriber, no worries. You can still join us on this raid. You can get 300 channel points, right? If you raid out with us, you do get 300 channel points. And that does mean you are 300 points closer to the 100,000, you know, game redeem. We are going to be raiding, I think there's like a VTuber in the Great Ace Attorney category. She is on the second case, which is on the boat when we are found to be guilty of Asogi's murder. So let's go say hi to her. Let's go support her and make sure that, you know, we support her in figuring out what happened to Asogi. Thank you so much, Steam, for coming in. I super duper appreciate it. You as well, Wonder Waffle. And to my, you know, usual viewers, Show, Sev, Creed, Action, Goon, Chrono, Gunny. Did British come? I don't think British came today, but Abby, you know, thank you very much, you guys. All right, I'm gonna start this raid off to Clover Kiyomi. Oh, I think Gingy Dude also came in today. He's like always here. He comes in at the beginning and he was like, hi. And I'm like, okay. You know who we didn't see today? Gogglehead. Gogglehead wasn't like, hi, okay, also bye, I'm going. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I usually love it when I see people just like, hey, I'm popping in for a bit. Okay, bye. I'm like, okay, thank you. All right, we're gonna go raid Clover Kiyomi. Let's go say hi to them. As always, you guys, please be happy, please be healthy, but most of all, please be kind. Be kind to others because you never know what a smell, hug, or hello can do. Sorry. Never know what a smile, hug, or hello can do for someone who's having a bad day. And be kind to yourselves. Stay hydrated. Make sure you're getting up and stretching every once in a while. I think the water was what helped solve the spinning room problem for me, right? So drink lots of water. And yeah, touch some grass, smell some roses directly from the rose bush. And guys, have a good evening or a good morning if you're starting your day on the other side of the world. Yep, sweet dreams, you guys. Goodbye, my puppies. I love you. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.